Hello,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen. This is the new episode of Game Changer Talks Duo as an invitation to everyone for a totally different reality. So today I have the honor, I have the joy of having Enric Vendrell with me. I hope I didn't kill your name. Hola, Enric.
Hola, ¿qué tal?
Bienvenido.
How are you?
Fine, I'm fine. Thank you. So would you start by talking about yourself? I mean, I know that you are in Access for almost 8 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And you were also playing with buddies before. So how everything started for you and how it's going, how is your journey?
Yeah, so it's been a few years now, and it started. So Access showed up as by magic in my life. Well, I was already into consciousness and into energy modalities and therapies. So it's not so far because I was already choosing that and working with that. So one of the persons I used to also swap and do other techniques. She learned this technique, the bars, and then she showed me. I mean, she introduced me to Access, and then since then, so I never stop. Let's say.
Awesome. So, what's the gift of involving your body into your life? Yeah, in choice, in creation, in whatever it is.
I think it's the key. Like, and I think that's something I always knew it. That's why I'm so passionate about bodies, because it's like my question is like, if you don't have a body, what is your life about?
Yeah,
it's like it's kind of it's like it's the big thing here of the deal, you know. Like it's like if we don't have a body, then it's like I don't know what that. I'm sure there's other ways of life. Mm-hmm. But this life is really about having a body and what we can experience and create with this body. So that's now it's so clear. Of course, it wasn't that clear, you know. It just became more of like, wow, like, yeah, the body is showing something. The body is talking. The body is expressing. The body is complaining to what I do that my body doesn't like. So yeah, that's something that's been there before Access. And with Access, it got so much, let's say, potency and so much space for that, and so many tools and classes that would contribute to that, right?
Yeah, and it's so great that your body starts to smile when you say my body, and when you talk about your body. It's so great. I mean, it's already, the body already shows how it is joy for it to be received.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and there are many people who doesn't choose yet, let's say, to receive from their own body. You know, they are looking to receive from other people or business or whatever. And what would you say about receiving from our own body?
Yeah, so it's about the consciousness. It's about presence, that we can see that everything that we have in life, including our bodies, it's a gift.
Yeah.
Because this reality works in a way that is like is always tricking us. It's always kind of, now I like to call it like it's testing. You know, testing is putting you into the let's say into the shock, into the conflict, into the confrontation. So then we live from separation. So from separation from our bodies, from separation from ourselves, from things that are great, like the planet, like the nature. We live from separation from that, and that's part of this, what we an Access call this reality. That is a reality based in unconsciousness and anti-consciousness.
Yeah. And you just had a 3-day body class in Taiwan?
In Japan right
in Japan
now.
Oh, sorry. So you will have another one in Istanbul and in Taiwan, I guess. Or
yeah, exactly.
I I may be confusing all.
No, it's right. The Japan was last weekend, so this weekend is in Taiwan, and then the next weekend is in Turkey, in Istanbul.
Yeah, and how it's like to work with buddies from, let's say, quote unquote, different cultures or countries?
So it's very interesting because, it's very interesting because, let's say, as we were saying, these realities about unconsciousness or limitation, and then the bodies are amazing. The bodies are always there, like like the body's like an animal, like a pet that is like always there, willing to be happy, willing to receive everything that you do, willing to always support you. So then you can see always this kindness in the body classes. That's what shows up, this kindness, this caring, this space of sharing, of you go beyond the limitations. And then what's funny is also like in every place there's a slightly different limitation. So that's I'm a person that I love to observe things, and I notice so many things like that, and I always have fun, like seeing like, oh my God, here they have this limitation in that way, or they are super focused in this limitation. And then in another place, that's very good, because you can see that limitations are a creation, and it's not something that is that solid or that fixed. Starting for your own limitations in your own, let's say, culture or setup. And then you see that these limitations, these fixed ways of doing things are different, and sometimes are kind of very different.
Awesome. Something in your last classes, during the last classes, that you could share?
I don't know what to say. It's kind of like there's so many experiences that that you just go through, and not to dismiss it, but so many things happen that it also start to become your way of living, that you are in this space of change. So it's not something that you see it strange. It's more like, that's what we're looking for, like that's what we're here for. And I have so many, but now I cannot just like think about anything.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I had, 6 body classes till now, and each of them was unforgettable, especially the first one. It is like I realized that I have a body, I would say.
Wow, yeah.
It's so fun, and I'm so glad that you will be here also. Yeah, it will be very fun for those who will participate, and I will share the registration link also on the comments. And thank you, by the way, for choosing to come. Do you have any tools that would contribute people to have more ease in communication with their bodies?
It's starting to, tools, the basic tool for everything is ask a question. That includes, there's so many questions that, as many of you might know in Access, all the basic questions are, let's say, sometimes are the best tools, because they are so simple, but they are so potent. They open up, like the question is like the key that open up a door. It's like the way we can get somewhere else, right? So, to a new place. So that for me would be the main tool. That is the question, ask a question, like, okay, what's that? How can I change that? What is my awareness here? What is my reality? What I would like, what I would like to choose today. So all these questions are, even I'm not talking about the body, are related to the body, then you can include the body and say, okay, body, what do you require? What would be nourishing for me, but for us, body. So to start with these questions, to include the body and to talk to the body. That would be, let's say, the tool also, that I ask questions and I talk to my body. So I interact with my body. I look for this communication, this receiving the body, this listening the body.
Awesome. And at that point, I would like to ask you another question with that. Sometimes, when we start to communicate with our bodies, people get confused if it is the body who is quote unquote replying or the mind.
Yeah. So that's very simple. Like the body doesn't talk like a person, like oh yes, do this, or no, this is good, or this is bad. This is the mind.
Yeah.
So what the bodies do, like many other beings, or when we talk to other animals or entities, of course we can perceive words and have like this, let's say, mental conversations or hear voices, blah blah blah. But especially with the body, is a lot about just the energy. So it's not about like my body's going to say like, no, I don't want this, I want that, or by the way, this thing, it's not this conversation. This conversation is in our head.
Yeah.
And that's what we do with our judgments, with our different points of view, and also even like with people that we have in our heads, and entities and people that we perceive around. So that's what we do when we we listen to these voices, as that is our body. It's like going to the nature and having this moment where there's no talk, there's a communication, there's a receiving, and it's not necessary about words. So for me, what I see with my body is always about receiving this subtle energy, these whispers that the body saying like, oh yeah, this is greater, this choice is greater. Oh, this choice is not that great, I don't want that. And it's sometimes the easiest is to start with, you start to perceive what is not good, because like, oh, that's you don't like that. So then that's the best way, or for at least for me, to start, like to acknowledge like when something is not kind.
Wow.
We are so used to choose and to accept things that are not good for our bodies and for us.
Yeah, that's right. Wow, that was a great tip, by the way. Thank you for that. And you also mentioned another side of communication with entities, I will say. I know that you are doing entity classes also. So we are in Turkey, in a culture that we are scared of entities.
Only in Turkey.
We have many things around this, and me also, I was so avoiding this topic at the beginning, and lately it's been 4 years, and nowadays I can just start to look. How was that for you?
Yeah, it is. I mean, I guess it's almost in every culture there is an avoidance, because this avoidance is connected to consciousness. I mean, whose culture is totally conscious, like this world is really like, let's say, thriving like a bomb of unconsciousness, and we are kind of like going beyond that and choosing to be more conscious. But it's clear like how the systems in this planet, the societies, has been like totally, let's say, controlled by unconsciousness. So what I'm seeing in every country is there's fear, there is a rejection, there is all these kinds of things. But I would say in Spain, it's something that maybe, let's say, it's not something that is a big conversation or something that people talks a lot about. It's more like this avoidance, right? Like, okay, of course, there's so many stories and blah, blah, and points of view. But like everywhere, what happened is like the best way, then it's like ignoring it and not talking about it.
And so what invited you in this realm, in this world of entities?
What invited me to that?
Yeah.
So many years ago, when I kind of like started to be interested in consciousness, because before I wasn't, or at least consciously, I was more busy just like doing whatever that the life puts you, and doing the right things and blah, blah. So there was a moment where, okay, I have to choose something different, for my life. Like all what I'm doing, all what I see, it's not interesting, and it's something else. And then I started to explore, to be curious, and then there I started to have the first, let's say, connections with entities, with the world of identities, and I was so surprised, because then finally I could kind of like start to receive something from all these mysterious topic that it's always this like, yeah, these small things that you know from the movies, all these around fear and stuff, but then you can start to see that there's much more. So that was the beginning, and then since then I was already like so curious, like, wow, how is that? So then like, wow, the universe, wow, so that's not so limited, that I'm here in this world so limited, there's so much more. And then you start to open up, yeah, your consciousness and your perception.
Wow, that's cool. And would you recommend any tool or whatever it is to people who are interested, who are curious about them, and who are and in the same time avoiding? What will make things easier for both sides of the communication?
Yeah, so first of all, it's like understand that we are also entities, like an entity. The difference with these entities that we can perceive is that maybe they don't have a body, but we are, let's say, an entity also, just like in a body, right? So that's a good awareness to start with, to like, because that great relaxation is like, oh wow, okay, it's like just like a person that died, and then the being is there, confused maybe. That's just talking about this type of entities. Of course, there's many other types of entities.
Yeah.
And then another tip is to also explore it, to go for it. Like, don't be afraid. Like, there's nothing that can happen. Just like when we want to be conscious about any topic, what we get as a end result is that we get greater always. So that's life. We have to choose where we want to go, what we want to explore, and just go for it.
Yeah, and it may be fun to receive from entities than avoiding them.
Exactly. The thing is that they are there already, and avoiding doesn't create more.
Yeah,
doesn't make it easy.
Yeah, it's like trying not to see a crowd that you are already in.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I know that it's already 11 p.m. there. So I will just ask a last question. And
no problem.
And what would you add? In fact, it can be a tool, it can be something about access, it can be about Enric. What would you add to invite people to choose a different reality? I know that it's their choice. And yeah, would you like to be an inspiration for it?
Yeah. So it's kind of ask this question of like, what are you interested on? Like, what would you like in life? Why, or what did you came here for? It's kind of like to start to be really honest with yourself, to connect with yourself, to see what are you creating in life, and what you want to create in life. Because we are kind of like mentally lost, but when you start to ask these questions, everyone can know it. It's like, okay, it can take few days, few time, but when you start to ask these questions, you can start to see it. It's even immediately that you can see like, oh, I actually would like that. And probably many of you're already doing what you want, or what you desire, or what you are here for. But it's always good to ask that, because we can get sometimes a bit lost in this track of life, of all the noise that is around, all the things that are happening. Is like, like I have no choice, get into this no choice reality. And asking a question is giving us awareness, so then we can have choice also.
Yeah. So to know that what you want to do in this life may not be just a sentence or just a thing to do, right? It can be also an energy that you want to be.
Exactly. And that's why I'm saying asking this question, not just like one time, just always, because this thing that you want to do might change as you change. And life changes. Like, okay, 10 years ago, my desire was to be free from whatever, from from, let's say, normal job reality. So, and I created. Now this is not necessary. I'm already away from that since many years. But in that time was a big desire, like what I want to do in life. I want to be free. I want to travel. I wanna work for myself and not have a boss telling me what I have to do, what is right, what's not, right? So that was my big desire.
I know what you mean. Yeah, me too.
That's an example, like how things changes. So it's like I cannot keep into the same demands now than 10 years ago, because I already accomplished that. So now I have different things I want to accomplish or that are waiting for me.
That's great. And allowing everything to change may be the biggest freedom ever.
Yeah.
Allowing ourselves to change, you know.
Exactly.
That's great. And this is what a 3-day body class does also, you know, allowing the body and everything around to change. I had huge changes in my business after those classes also. It wasn't just about my body, you know, it wasn't just something physical. It was so beyond that, I would say.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, because the amazing thing with the body class and the body processes of Access is that we get to energetically change, remove, eliminate all these limitations. So then all this magic that is there behind, all this potency that is waiting to be acknowledged, to be allowed, just comes out, you know. And then when this energy comes out, we have so much energy, we start to create in a different way, we start to be able to handle things in a different way.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And in every class, although the content may be the same, in every class a different space shows up, so with different people, with different choices of them. So it's not the same, even though the name is same.
Yeah, exactly. It's every class is a creation, every group is a different creation.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. It was a great talk and I'm so happy to have you here. And see you soon.
Thank you for inviting.
Thank you. Thank you. See you soon.
Yeah, see you soon. See you in Turkey.
Yeah, I'm sure. And thank you everyone for joining us. And you are free to share your comments and questions about the upcoming 3-day with Enric in Istanbul. So the host will contact you and give you all the information to you. Thank you. See you soon.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.